20 tips to motivate yourself. Tip number 1, creating an ego. Positive attitude plays a decisive role in the process of creating one's ego. This determines the incentive or prevents your step forward. Tip number 2, have a clear plan. A clear goal is to take the first step to help you succeed. Creating your ego is not just limited to those goals. Need to clearly define the life you want to pursue so that you have the motivation to act. Tip number 3, encourage yourself. Encouraging yourself to help you pursue your plan more positively. Tip number 4, establishing long-term goals. The first step in creating yourself is the goal you set, which is the goal of your life. Your own future build up, take action from today. There are a lot of changes in the process, but don't go too far from the original goal. Tip number 5, do not feel satisfied with the present. Constantly challenge yourself. Raise your guard with self-satisfaction. A self-satisfaction is just an act of relaxing your mood for you to take on new challenges. Tip number 6, understanding the states of mind. When people are happy, they have strange changes and new motivations. But do not find pleasure outside yourself. So find a time when you're having the most fun to constantly encourage yourself. Tip number 7, improve goals. Many people are surprised to find that the reason why they are not achieving their goals is not that the goal is too small, but because the goal is too vague to lose motivation. If your goal does not stimulate your imagination, the dream of accomplishing it is far away. So set clear and specific goals so you can be more motivated to pursue them. Tip number 8, believing in life. People who don't believe in life are not afraid to face death. A positive attitude to life does not affect the way you enjoy life, but it helps you to live happily and positively. Tip number 9, select your friends. Stay away from people who are not like you. The person you are constantly in touch with can strongly influence the changes in your life. People who bring joy, sincerity, positive and success help you pursue your goals more positively because they are the ones who bring hope to you. Tip number 10, facing fear. Even over a small amount of fear can also help build your confidence. In life or at work, sometimes you need to stop to adjust your rearrangement and look at yourself, so when facing difficulties you will be more confident with your experience. Tip number 11, facing difficulties. Each problem has a different solution. When you consider difficulties as your own problems, it will be difficult for you to find the motivation to solve them. Turning a challenge into an opportunity, you will overcome it easily. Learn how to happily accept difficulties and give yourself a mental state of comfort whenever you face problems. The success of every job is the process you complete. It is more important than the result of the job. Tip number 12, constantly training. Practice with the challenges that you will face. If you have a clear decision but are not confident in yourself, try the harder things. Taking daily work to challenge yourself is the premise for you to succeed. Tip number 13, always live in the present. Train to improve your ability to work and always improve your knowledge to recognize the real situation. Look straight to the present. Learn to accept reality and appreciate your inherent life. Tip number 14, dare to compete. Competition brings valuable experience. No matter how excellent you are, there is always someone better than you. So we need to be humble. Striving to overcome others makes you always exist in a competitive game. You need to understand that overcoming others is never more important than surpassing yourself. Tip number 15, always remind yourself. Most of us judge ourselves through other people's opinions and comments. That comment is important in building your image. But it is important to understand that your life is decided by you. Do not seek yourself through the shadow of others, often awakening yourself. Tip number 16, challenge yourself. We often pursue a peaceful life. But we should not wait for difficulties to find. Challenging ourselves is the most effective source of life. Tip number 17, meticulously assertive work. Creating your ego as well as the work of an artist drawing a picture. When thinking of the masterpiece you create, you will be more interested in the work. Working with other people also helps you to be more excited. Even a small change is important to you. Tip number 18, not afraid of making mistakes. When we are uncertain about a problem, we often do not dare to do it. When mental states are not good, we often leave things to do aside or wait for better opportunities. Should not be so. Please act immediately with full effort without fear of making mistakes. Give yourself a bit of humor and focus on working in the most comfortable mood. Tip number 19, don't be afraid to deny yourself. Don't reject others in a negative way, face it. When your request is not being made, consider this rejection as a question: can you make it better and more creative? Let rejection be the driving force for you to work. Last tip, relax yourself. After challenges, let your body rest. When the central nervous system is at work, you feel you are working more positively and more excited when the work is effective. The breaks will help you build courage with new challenges. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel for more motivations.